Ahmed Maseno. Today, Kenyans, I want us to think and rethink. The question is, why did we reject President Uhuru's advice and opted for Ruto? That's the big question. Because as for President Ruto, for him, he has just proved something to me. I do not know about you. He is not better than the retired president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. In fact, he is nowhere near Uhuru. He cannot never be compared with Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta was more manly. He welcomed Raila Odinga, his critic, to his government. Ruto used that to whine so much, to make us have sympathy, so that we can sympathize with him and get elected. Then after that, he did exactly, or he is doing exactly what Kenyatta did. So what's the difference between Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto? If we rejected Uhuru Kenyatta's ideas just around the time he was about to retire, just because Ruto led us to, we rejected him in vain. We acted on lies. Ruto lied to us. I can tell you a story of how I've voted. That's why I'm being pained so much. I have a reason why I am a Luo who has never supported the Odingas. It's a long story. So the first time I was to vote was in 1992. But it's a good thing I did not, because I was a clerk of the ECK that time, Electoral Commission of Kenya. So I was not supposed to vote. So the second time, that was in 1997. I don't know why I did not vote during that time. But the following voting period, I did. I would have voted for Kibaki. But because Raila was on the side of Kibaki, when he said Kibaki Tosha, I voted for Nyachai, so my vote went down with Nyachai. Maybe I'll tell you later why I voted for Nyachai that time. Maybe it was too regional. If I can't say tribal because Nyachai is not from my tribe, but I would say regional, maybe. But the second time, I voted for Kibaki that time. That is when all led to the coalition government, Musumkati. I voted for Kibaki. I did not vote for Raila. Then came Uhuru. I voted for Uhuru twice. I am a member of Jubilee. Even today, I'm still a member of Jubilee. I ditched Uhuru's ideas because of the fact that Uhuru brought Raila on board and started treating his principal assistant bad. So it can be a talk of sympathy vote. I trusted him. I knew he would deliver. And what I did not know is that he himself, who campaigned against Uhuru and Raila coming together, that is why he was given the vote. Many people voted for him because of that. He would just do the same thing. That is a betrayal of high order. biggest there is. In fact, Ruto has betrayed Kenyans because Ruto thinks that giving the opposition some appointments, he thinks that he has solved the equation of the people revolting against him. But it's very wrong. Ruto is very wrong. Ruto should understand that there is this thing called a time bomb. He has just planted a time bomb that is ticking with each and every second. Is ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock. And when it will blow, it will be very nasty. Very nasty. When Uhuru got the handshake, the first thing they did was to travel together with his acquired new brother to China to get a loan. A loan which his good brother, Raila, was always campaigning against. And just after the so-called broad-based government, the first thing they have done is Ruto and Raila have traveled together to China for loan. Loan is bad for our country when Raila is out of it. But when Raila is in it, loan is just okay for our country. During Uhuru, during Ruto. The life of our children are pegged on Raila Odinga. The life of our country is pegged on Raila Odinga. Why do we go for elections? Why do we reject Raila and elect somebody else if, when we know already that he will come in? And let me tell you, Kenyans have not known. They will know one day. I usually tell my brothers and sisters who are against me, because I'm the first critic of Raila since. And I have a reason, a very good reason, because people doesn't know him. They don't know him. They know him as a freedom fighter. My question is, fighting for who and which freedom? People knows him as a Democrat. My question is, which democracy? I wish people could see Raila for who he is, for who he really is, not what he's trying to make you believe he is. Because he is never that, and he will never be that. He is what he was when he was young, and he is still that today. That man who doesn't know what democracy is, that is Raila. The same man who doesn't know what freedom is. Because if he knew what freedom is, Lowland would be free today. Lowland is never free. There's never freedom in Lowland. There's never democracy in Lowland. How can you be giving freedom and democracy outside while your home is in jail? How? Which kind of freedom is that? They say charity begins at home. The Lowland supported Kibaki because Raila said so. When Raila said no, Kibaki is bad, Lowland was against it. Uhuru was bad. They called him all sorts of names because Raila said so. Let me give you a story, a very simple story. It's very simple and very awkward. A story that can make you cry. Before Uhuru and Raila got their so-called handshake, there was a time that the government subsidized unga and gave the people a cheaper unga. It was retailing at, I think, 90 shillings as compared to other brands which were retailing at something like more than 150, something close to 200 shillings. I can't remember. I remember one time I have relatives living at Mathare Valley. So I remember one time in a place called Mathare Miradi, a man came home one day with 2 packets of the government subsidized unga. And something happened. People of Mathare knew that this man came with that unga. Now, this guy or this man, after going home with 2 packets of government subsidized unga, word went to his neighbors and to the entire Luo community in Mathare. So he happens to have disobeyed Baba by buying from the government. Baba had said that nobody, absolutely nobody, should buy the subsidized unga from Jubilee government. So I will tell you something, or I will shock you. This man was beaten to death by his brothers, by his neighbors. His sin was buying the subsidized unga. To him, as he was pleading, he had no money and his children were going hungry. And the only money he could get was enough to buy this subsidized unga. He was beaten to death, and to make matters worse, they destroyed the unga that he came with. So the family was left there with no father and hungry, no food, because Raila said that nobody should use that unga. Ironically, few months down the line, Raila and Uhuru had what they call the handshake. This handshake was welcomed by the Luo community. The same people, among them, the same people who killed their brother, their neighbor, because of Uhuru. Remember, the unga was not the problem. The problem was the person who introduced it, Uhuru and his Jubilee government. When Raila got handshake with Uhuru, they forgot everything. They forgot that they killed their brother because of the same Uhuru. They forgot everything because Baba's word is law in Luo land. They were now trained to despise Ruto and the Kalenjin people, because that time Ruto was now the enemy, not Uhuru anymore. Ruto was now the enemy. I remember Ruto at the BBI launch in Bomas. He was so eloquent. He talked facts. Amongst all the speakers who spoke before him, he was the best. That's one of the things that endeared me towards him, to vote for him. Because I picture Bomas of Kenya that day. He mopped the floor with everyone. Not Uhuru, not Raila, not Kalonzo, not Mudavadi, all of them. Ruto's speech was the best. because he was talking facts. But you saw the Luo leaders who were present. You saw people like Millie Odhiambo, how they went on. You saw them, how they went on. Ruto became bad until after election. He was still bad. Then, the other day, incidentally, I don't know how, Ruto became perfect. And now, the bad one is not only Rigathi Gachagua, but the entire Kikuyu community. But now you can see my point of view. For those who have abused me so much over the social media, there's one childhood friend of mine. We were raised together. If I can just show you our conversation before the election, before the last elections, you really wonder. This man abused everything about me, including my mother, who was not in the conversation. But all in all, that is it. And now, not only the Luo community are being enslaved by this man or this family, but Kenya has already been enslaved by the same family, Kenya as a whole. Because if a president, even if that president doesn't like the Odingas so much, but they will have to swallow him so that they can do their dirty things. Ruto and Raila are in China for a loan. I thought Ruto would be the best. But now, we Kenyans have to think otherwise. They will come more, others will come with all sorts of things that they are the best. Not Jimmy Wanjigi is coming, telling us he's the best. While inside we really know that he's trying to settle scores with Uhuru Ruto, who denied him some things about the SGR some years back. It's payback time for him. But he wants to involve us. When he was there doing all sorts of things and deals, the deals flopping and some picking, we were not there. But now, they want to use us to help them settle their scores. Like this other guy, what's his name? Morara. He doesn't want to tell us where Ruto and UDA betrayed him. When they were making deals together those times, we did not even know him. If the deal would have gone good, we would not even have seen him. But now, they have to come painting themselves as the Christ who are going to save us. While deep within they know they are settling scores and they want us to help them settle scores. Kenyans are going to go outside there and find people who can deliver for them. We are tired of all this. We are tired of all these people who want to ride on our back to achieve their aims. We are tired of them. We are busy here, seriously, trying to make ends meet for our kids tomorrow. That's why I'm always against this borrowing from outside. Because it's going to burden our community, our country. It's going to burden our children tomorrow. Are we going to leave our children in a debt? Or are we going to leave them in a country? People used to say that Uhuru did a lot of work. SGR, Nairobi Expressway, and all that. SGR is not ours. It's still being run by the people who built it. So what about our money that went there? Nairobi Expressway, we are told, is a private thing built on our public land. So all the trillions that Uhuru acquired from outside, where did it go? If it did not build SGR was built by the Chinese and they are still holding it. They did not, our money did not build the Nairobi Expressway. It was built by a private entity. Our port was being auctioned the other day during Uhuru's time with Raila himself seated beside him. Where did the trillions, all the trillions that Uhuru borrowed from outside go? Where? Where? Because those are the flagship infrastructures that he made, that we would boast of, that we are burdened in debt, but we have such and such and such infrastructure. If they don't belong to us, then where did our money go? Where are these people borrowing money to? Where? That's a question we should ask ourselves. Maybe somebody's thinking I'm just talking nonsense here. It is common knowledge that SGR is being controlled by the same people who built it until they recover all their money. Nairobi Expressway is a private entity that the owner who built it, and we should not go into a lot of things, the owner is the Kenyatta family. So, if all these are not ours, then all these trillions being borrowed, which were borrowed by Uhuru Kenyatta and his government, where did it go? Where did it go? We are going to go back. Maybe we should look at people like Maiga Waura. I don't know, Maiga Waura, something like that. He was a presidential candidate. Maybe we should look at him. Maybe this is the guy who can take us out of this quagmire. And we are overlooking him. Kenyans must go back. Keep quiet. Listen to the future. Because the future somehow, there's this way that the future is whistling. It's telling us something. But we are so busy we can't see. We think when we are told bottom up, it is the word go. If we are told that it is a government of Mama Mboga and Mama Boda Boda and Baba Boda Boda, it is the way. No, it is not the way. Once rich, they are always rich, and they will be rich. They are. The mistake we did was to let a rich man to lure us into this rich versus the poor by painting himself as the master of the poor people, while he is filthy rich. It is time that Kenyans should just look and see the rich people and leave them aside, because they will never understand the poor people. Never will they understand the poor people. So maybe we are going to look at Bwana Kigame. Maybe that Bwana Kigame might be physically disabled, but that man, I believe, is spiritually very smart, and his spiritual eyes can take us far. So maybe we can look at Bwana Kagame. Maybe he's the one who will take us where we want to reach. Let us not look at his physical disability. Let's look at what he can do, the energy he has. And I don't understand why the IEBC did not clear him to run. I do not understand. So Kenyans should start looking the other side. Those that you see are not promising are the promising ones. And those that you see are already promising will fail you just the way they have been failing us. Yes, there is where you want to look at. I would advise Kenyans to look the other way. When the deal is too good, think twice. Maybe you are looking at Mr. Kagame as a physically disabled person, but you do not know what energy that man might have inside that might help our country. Besides, it's God who created him like that. If his name would be in the ballot in 2027, I swear I would vote for him. Yes, I would vote for him. So I want to tell Mr. Kagame, wherever he is, he has a vote in me, and I'll persuade my wife too for him. This country must change, and people like Ruto can never change it. They will make it worse. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, and comment.